Blair. I'm a therapist here at Access Wellness. What is your name?
Samantha.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And
Kat.
Kat, nice to meet both of you. So first, before we get started, I just wanted to ask if it's okay throughout the session if I take some of my own notes. I'm not going to show anybody else or anything, just for my own memory, and so that way I make sure I don't miss anything.
Sure.
Is that okay? All right. So first, I just kind of want to go over what we do here. We do family therapy, and so I saw on your record your sisters. So I'll just be here to kind of go through whatever the issues are that you're having. We'll talk through them and try to come up with maybe some things that can help you all work these out. If you have anything individually that you need to work on or together, whatever the case may be, I'm just kind of here to guide that process. But really what we do is mostly up to you. Does that sound okay?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. So I just wanted to let you know everything that is said here stays here. It's all confidential, with the exceptions of if one of you tells me that you're going to harm yourself or anyone else, then I do have to report that. Any kind of child abuse or anything like that, if that comes up, I do have to report that. So I just wanted you to be aware. I know that's kind of a lot. Do you have any questions so far? Concerns?
Nope.
Nothing?
No, me either.
Alright. Well, if as the session goes on, if you do have any questions or concerns, feel free to stop me and we'll address those. I just want to let you know I have a timer set over here. Our session is going to be about 30 minutes. So the timer will go off about 5 minutes beforehand, so that way we can wrap it up, make sure that I've got everything straight, make sure that we've talked about everything that you all wanted to bring here today. Just make sure that we get to everything that we need to. Does that sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, awesome. So, let's start out with who initiated the idea of coming here? Samantha?
I did.
Okay. Can I ask you what made you
Understand. Official.
Okay. So what is it that you think she doesn't understand?
My happiness.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about
Because
your
I like to
happiness?
take care of myself and go out and make myself happy with my friends, and it just doesn't seem like she understands that that's what I need.
Okay.
I don't understand because she's actually living with me right now. She's been living with me for a couple years. She's in college, kind of. I mean, I know she goes to campus, but I don't know what kind of schooling gets done or anything like that. I know that I am shelling out thousands of dollars a semester for tuition and books, and I haven't seen a dime of that, of course, which is fine. I don't ask her to work. She, on her own, decided to get a job to
Which is
pay.
responsible.
Yeah, that's very responsible when you're not spending it on booze and drugs and other shit that you don't need.
She doesn't understand that that's what I do.
I think she's just doing it to please other people.
I'm doing it to please me.
Okay. So, first off, it seems like there's kind of a disagreement about what your happiness looks like.
If I'm not happy, how am I supposed to keep her happy?
Okay, well, how do you define your happiness?
By hanging out with my friends and keeping my emotional level up to par.
Okay. And how do you keep your emotional level up to par?
Well, I just have like a glass of wine. It's not like I'm going out drinking all the time.
Okay, do you agree with that?
No.
She's not there. She wouldn't know.
Well, I think your happiness should be defined based on your success, how hard you work.
Lots of people know me. I think that's pretty successful.
Sure, the grades you make are also really important, and money isn't important, but it's important enough. You need to save up so that you can have a future.
I mean, I've got like $100 saved. It's a pretty good start.
So you can do what you're working with.
Okay. Well, like I said, it's agree on the definition of happiness, and that's okay. Everybody has their own perceptions of what that looks like. But since you are living together, sometimes it helps to kind of set some boundaries and some rules.
Like, stay out of my business.
Okay. I can stay out of her business if she can get home before 3 o'clock in the morning. And if you would leave your car somewhere instead of driving home drunk, which I know you do,
I mean, it's a responsible thing to get your
I
car home.
would give you money for a cab.
I don't need money for a cab because if I can get my car home, obviously in one piece, then I'm fine.
Okay.
And what money would you bail yourself out of jail with?
I mean, I would.
The $100 that you have in your bank account? That is embarrassing.
I just think this is really funny because I mean, I should be here, but I don't know if I really should be here.
Okay. Well, to start off with, just for while we're here in the session, what can be to make sure is to make sure that we designate enough time for each of you to have a turn to talk, so that
Good luck.
none of us. Why do you say that?
I never get to talk because she's always accusing me of things.
And how do you feel about that statement?
I'm pretty quiet, actually, in general, and the only things that we really talk about are her coming home after a bender, or where any of my money is going, or how I know that she's in. Mom was. I told you that's in our blood so many times, but
Okay.
you know.
That sounds like it brings up a deeper seated issue. If you all would like to talk about that, first let's just kind of set some rules for fighting fair, if that's what you want to call it. So that way, like I said, you each have a respectable amount of time to voice your opinion so that none of us are talking over each other, so that nobody feels like, their voice isn't being heard. So since you brought up the alcoholism runs in your family, Kat, I'd like to start with you. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that, and then I'll also see what your perception of that is. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right.
Great. Well, our excuse for a father left when Samantha was, I don't know, maybe 2, not even really forming memories yet. Mom immediately started drinking. So I have been raising Samantha since I was about 7, 8.
Okay. What was the income like in your family growing up?
We only had welfare checks. And since our father was nowhere to be found, we just got money from the state, and our mother didn't know what to do with it, so it had to be split between Samantha and I, which is not a lot, and not really enough for us to live off of. So material possessions we didn't have a lot of, which was okay.
Okay. So it sounds like maybe you had a lot of responsibilities as you were growing up.
Well, Mom was pretty much blacked out most of the time, so if somebody didn't change her diaper, So, yeah, I pretty much raised her. And I don't feel like she's very grateful.
To say on that matter?
No.
Alright, so Samantha, how do you feel about that?
It's pretty accurate.
Okay. Even the part about you being ungrateful, do you agree
No.
with that?
No, I don't. I'm grateful. That's why I got my job at the restaurant, to help maintain some things.
But I don't see any of that money.
Well, because I have to use it to go out and be happy.
I'm sorry. What?
Get boys.
Do you feel like
I
that's an
pull out
accurate
my
statement?
tips for boys.
She does.
I don't think that's accurate at all.
Okay. So how
I
would
use it to put gas in my car too, and help with the car insurance.
Alright. And as far as the way that you all grew up, is there anything you'd like to add to that, or did you see it any differently?
She was always resentful because that was how she had to do things.
Okay, so you feel like maybe she was obligated
Yes.
to play the role of mom. Okay. Is that how you felt?
Well, I mean, I don't resent Samantha, but I do resent Mom for being such a crappy parent and that I did have to raise her. I mean, you're right. I did have to do it, but it's Mom's fault.
Okay, and how do you feel like that's affected the relationship between the two of you?
Well, I feel more like her mother than her sister.
I feel like we should be more like sisters than like mother-daughter.
Okay, and how do you think sisters should be?
Like happy and spending time together and telling each other secrets and things.
Okay, so maybe more open,
And
honest,
friendly.
friendly. And Catherine, how do you feel about that?
Well, I do think we could be friendlier, but the ground rules of the house, I don't think it's gonna work.
Okay, so maybe we should move on to that. Would you all like to come up with some kind of contract? We can write down some rules.
I would love
and,
that.
Yes.
We can even sign it. Sometimes, having that tangible contract can help. So if you'd like, I can write down some things as we talk. We can brainstorm.
Do we get to keep the contract?
I can make you a
Can
copy.
I have a copy of it?
I can
Yeah, I
make
would-
you
I would-
both a copy.
That would be
We'll put it on
excellent.
the refrigerator too. With
Yeah.
3 copies.
That's fine. I can do that.
Here's a copy.
And before we start, I'd like to say thank you for coming and thank you for sharing all this with me. I know that can be difficult, and it takes really strong people to be able to come and talk about their problems with a stranger, basically. So I appreciate that you're doing this, and I hope this process helps both of you. If there's anything more or different that we need to do as we go along, just let me know. Accommodate whatever that is. As far as the contract goes, Samantha, let's start with you this time. What are some ground rules that you would like to say?
I don't want to be questioned immediately when I walk in the door.
Okay. And these aren't concrete yet. We'll come back and tweak them and do whatever we need to do. But for now, I'll just, like I said, we'll just brainstorm.
Okay.
Okay. So no automatic questioning. Does that sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Catherine.
Yeah, no borrowing my car.
Does the borrowing the car happen without asking for permission? Or?
Yes, and
Okay.
comes back and smells like drugs.
No borrowing car, period, or without permission?
For now, I'd like it to be period.
Okay. So I'll say no borrowing car at all, time period. Okay. Sam?
No asking where my money is.
So no questions about
What
money.
I spend it on.
Alright.
Could you do a curfew?
Yeah, depending on what time you expect me to be in
Like
the door.
3 a.m.
Sure.
Okay, curfew 3 a.m. every night or
Every night.
weekend?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's really no difference in the weekends for her, so. Just 3 a.m. No more 7 a.m. getting home stuff.
Okay. Sam?
I thought that was mine.
Okay, well she
A
you
rule
did
for
curfew.
you.
came up with the curfew. So is there another rule that you would like to add?
I would like to not be don't let her smell my breath when I walk in the door. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so
Okay.
no checking for paraphernalia of any kind.
Or anything.
Okay, so how would we like to state that one?
I won't.
Oh,
Okay, I can do that.
Alright. And Kat?
I want you to work more hours during the week. Not a lot.
but seeing that I'm not supposed to do my homework.
Well, you're taking 12 hours, so.
Do you feel like that would be possible to work more hours?
No.
No? So you said you work 12 hours a week?
Yes.
Okay, how many classes are you taking right now? Okay, so you've got are they all 3 credit hours, you're taking a full load?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, if you feel like more than 12 hours a week would be too much, is there some kind of compromise that we can come up with?
Maybe I can pick up a shift if I need to.
Well, what about this? Or show me your homework. Not all the time. Not all the time. but
I can show her my homework, and then if I still need to pick up and can, I will.
Okay.
okay, yeah, I can do that.
Does that work?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Alright, do you have any other rules?
Letting me have people over if I should need to.
I don't know if I can do that rule.
Okay, what's wrong with that one?
Her friends steal, and I have a lot of really expensive stuff in the house. And I know they stole my diamond earrings last weekend when you had that party when I was
This is what I'm
gone.
mean about accusations.
I mean, they're gone. So, I don't
You should
trust them.
misplace them.
And since I pay the bills, I think I should have a say as to who comes in the house. But, we'll keep your friends out of the house and in the backyard. I don't care.
What if they have to use the bathroom?
They're outside. Fine, they can use the bathroom, but
Okay, so we'll say
My friends should pee in the front yard.
friends.
backyard.
Do we want to say limited? Maybe your friends have limited access to the inside of the house.
What about your friend? Only your friends that I know.
Okay,
She has 2 friends that I think are really, really awesome for her. 2 of your girlfriends.
that's fine. We can do 2 girlfriends.
Okay, so those 2 allowed in the house.
And then if I'm dating one guy.
We'll talk about that when that. Can we revise
just
that
come
on the
back to that
contract?
I'm sorry.
Can we revise that on the contract later.
Yeah, I can periodically, as long as y'all are talking to me, if there's anything that change, tweak, whatever needs to be done. This isn't set in stone for life or anything. These are just kind of guidelines that hopefully will help the process of making your living situation better for now. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay,
So I'm fine
um,
with you having some friends over, but only those girls because I know they're good.
Okay, so those 2 friends, and then maybe permission for others or limited access for others. How do we want to say that?
You can put it like that. I'm not super happy with that, but I mean, I can deal with her rules if she can deal with mine.
Okay. So I'll say limited access for friends that you don't approve of.
Mm-hmm. That works for me.
Alright, so that was some pretty good compromising. So I see that you all are capable. So I know that sometimes when things are rough or when you're fighting, it seems like everything is bad. But you all just showed me that everything is not bad. And that you do have the ability to compromise. So that's great. So that was going to be your rule with the friends over. But then you kind of tweaked that a little bit. So what other issues are you all having that maybe some ground rules might need to be set on?
I know you're taking money.
I don't need to take money out of your purse when I'm working. I'm making my own money. There's
The
no
thing
reason
is, if
for me to need to steal.
if she'll ask me for the money, I'll give it to you. But if you steal it, I'm gonna start hiding it.
innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, I would like to make a point that is an accusation. I see where you're coming from, where she would maybe have the most access to your money. But then again, we made the rule that there was no accusation. So maybe that's something we need to talk about more. So what is the person? Not as much is there as the day before, or
Well, sometimes my credit card will go missing for 2 days and then remarkably return to the spot in my wallet where it was that I put it there. And sometimes I will just have, I have a pretty good job, so I will make large cash withdrawals and based on my receipts and then what I have in my wallet after I go for a run, there's something that doesn't add up. So
It might be that weird plumber guy that she's sleeping with that comes in and out of the house.
accusation, right?
I had to hear back for the other accusation.
I am not sleeping
But
with
that's a
him.
that is a plausible thing.
I could be sleeping with him, but I'm not.
I wake up every morning and he's in the kitchen.
Fixing the sinks.
Because plumbers come at 6 o'clock in the morning, right?
okay. Well, first off, let me just say, yes, that was an accusation. And it's the ground. Maybe that's also something that, if you all want to talk about with me, this relationship or non-relationship with the plumber, whatever it might be, if that's something you would like to work through, maybe we could talk about that at the next session, because for now it seems like we have...
Can you put it in your notes
I can
so we
do
talk
that.
about it at the next
I can
session?
So obviously
definitely
we're
do
coming
that.
back for another session.
Yeah, we are. Because you think I'm sleeping with that disgusting plumber.
It's not that bad of a thing.
If
It
we didn't
wouldn't be-
live
it
in
wouldn't
such
be
a
like a
terrible
far
area,
thing.
we wouldn't need a plumber every single day to fix our shit.
But if you make enough
Okay?
money, we shouldn't live in a terrible area to begin with.
I'm saving my money so I can get married, not to the plumber. God.
So, like I said, that's something that we can continue at another time, or if you all want to talk about it at home.
We get to sign that though, right?
If we talk about it at home, then we're just gonna be yelling.
We're not going to talk about it at home.
Well, this is why we're coming up with the rules for fighting fair, and also what goes along with the accusation. If one person says that, nobody's perfect, seeking revenge will usually just make it worse, and that's really easy to do. Sometimes, as human beings, that desire for payback, it happens, and hopefully we can work through and decrease that.
So we need ground rules for when you're not around.
If you would like to
Basically.
do that as well, we can
Yeah,
make that
we
a part of the
probably
the
need to.
arguments.
Yeah.
Okay. So far for these ground rules, just overall, are we okay with that? So far,
Yeah.
we have no automatic questions, borrowing car at all being. Is there anything you would like to add, take away for those two?
Nope, those are perfect.
Okay. No questions about money. How do we feel about that rule?
For now, it's fine.
Okay. Curfew at 3 a.m.
That's good.
Okay. You have to show your sister the homework that you've done. And you said not necessarily every day.
Right. A few times a week. Just let me know that you're doing homework.
I'll just
Okay.
say, hey, I'm doing homework.
That's fine. That would be more than what I'm getting, so
Okay.
great.
Awesome.
I'm gonna close the door.
Okay. And then for the friends coming over, we said limited access for friends that you do not approve of, and for two that you do. Time. Is that correct?
That's
Okay.
fine.
So then,
Even when I'm not there, it's fine to have them over.
okay, so if that sounds good to you, we'll move on and actually come up with some rules for fighting fair as well.
Okay.
Is that okay? Alright. So no accusations. Should that be a part of that as
Yeah.
well? Okay. So if there's no accusations, if one of you feels like the other one is doing or has done something that you don't agree with, how could you handle that rather than automatically accusing?
I mean, if she would just say, hey, have you seen my credit card, instead of saying, I know you have my credit card, why'd you take it out of my purse? Then I wouldn't have to retaliate so harshly.
Okay, fine. So questions instead of statements.
Yeah.
But you
Okay.
can't take my questions as accusations. You just have to take them as questions.
As long as it's not, I know you took my money, then we'll be fine.
Okay.
So,
Like, came to conclusion.
okay, so questions rather than I think that sounds good. What about you?
I can do that one.
Okay. What other issues have you run into as you're having arguments?
Well, she, as she has made expressly clear, really likes her space. And sometimes when we're fighting, she'll just run and lock herself in her room, and that's the end of that fight. So there's never a resolution because she won't talk to me.
Well, I mean, everybody needs space to cool off.
Okay.
She likes to make up before bed, and I don't care. I just go to bed. So
Okay.
it's easy for me to cool off because
Okay. So with a compliment for that as well. It sounds like you like to get right down to the issue and
Mhm.
handle it right then and there, and sometimes you need time to cool off.
yeah.
So what if maybe as the arguments happen, if you feel like you need to cool off, maybe just telling your sister, hey, I need 5 minutes.
I need
Or-
like 20 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. Maybe you can say, I need the designated 20, and then, you can go up and do what you need to do, but it will be understood that in 20 minutes you're going to go back and fix the problem.
That's okay. I like that.
I
That's
like
fair.
that, yeah.
Okay.
That is fair.
And I can do anything in that 20 minutes
yes.
to cool off. Like, I could even, like, take a shower or go smoke a cigarette.
You can go do. I don't give a shit what you do as long as you, at the end of that 20 minutes, You come back and we finish
So do
it.
we have to, does one of us like have to initiate the 20 minutes is over, or do we just like expect the other person
think
to
you
say, hey,
should.
the 20 minutes is over, do I have to keep the time?
I mean, I think it's your 20 minutes that
What if
you
we
need.
forget about it in the 20 minutes?
I think sis is gonna forget about it.
You make it however much time you want. If you want like 2 or 3 hours,
I think 20 minutes is
whatever.
Okay. Well, and like your sister said, if you need more time, that's okay with her. So
It just can't be days.
I'll write designated 20 on here, but the 20 could represent whatever number you need. If you say, you know what, I need a designated 2 hours, or a designated 5 hours, or a designated 10 minutes, whatever. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fine.
So we'll
So long
say,
as she comes back at the end
designated.
of the intermission, then I'm fine.
Okay, so I'll say designated cool off time.
Okay.
All right.
That's fair.
But like I said, then it'll be understood that you come back together and solve the problem.
Okay.
All right. What other issues do you have when you're arguing?
She does yells a lot.
I
I
only
think we
yell.
should take it down an octave.
I only yell to yell over you. Maybe,
don't
you know what?
know.
Maybe we should take it down an octave.
Okay, so no yelling. How might that be implemented? Because sometimes when you're emotional, angry, you know, sometimes your voice just automatically gets louder and you may not even notice it. So, okay, that's our timer. So we only have a few minutes left. So, how about we come up with the
Last rule.
We finish the rules for fighting fair, and then I'd also like to talk about your roles as sisters when we get done with this. Does that sound okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. So, designated cool-off time, no yelling. So, one thing I would encourage you to do is figure out your triggers. And you may not know this right off the top. You might. But maybe think about that before.
Like our triggers.
Right. Like while you're fighting, maybe if you notice yourself getting louder, think, okay, what just made me want to yell? What made me so emotional that I needed to raise my voice?
Okay.
A lot of the times when she yells, and I just talk really softly, so she has to listen.
Okay.
It's cattiness. It's passive aggressiveness.
She'll be like, "La, la, la," and I'm like, what?
So it sounds like
We need to stop fighting in each other's rooms.
Yeah, she needs to get out of my room.
And you need to
So maybe we need to
kitchen.
I like to eat in there and think happy things.
Okay. Well, we're not doing it like outside of the house because I'm not letting the neighbors hear us.
What about the spare bedroom? So nobody's stuff is in there.
It's a neutral
It's
area.
a neutral area.
Is that
And,
okay?
Fine, yeah, we can do that. Just work out equipment in there.
Spare bedroom.
and then when we get mad, we can work out.
So when we have an issue, that means we take it to the spare bedroom.
Be like, hey, we need
to
time
talk.
Meet me in the spare room.
I think that sounds fine. If that will work for you all, that's
Well, I mean, we can
that
try
sounds
it.
good. Okay. You can try it. If something happens this week and it doesn't work, let me know. Like I said, we can change this however we need to. Back to the no yelling. So maybe if one of you all how could
Instead of whispering.
Maybe say like, I'll listen to you when you talk rationally.
okay.
Okay,
How do you feel about that statement?
could do that. You know, we have a bass in the spare room that rattles when we yell.
Mm-hmm.
So if we see that rattling, we
That's a
should
good
both.
idea.
Time to
Just-
talk. Okay. So I'll just put on here measured by base, and I think we'll know what that means.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. So are there any other rules for fighting?
I think
that
we're
you
good.
would like to add?
yeah. I mean, not at this point.
Okay.
We might next week.
I
But
might take notes while we're arguing.
I was gonna do that.
Me too.
I really was gonna take notes.
That's awesome. So when you come back, when you leave, I'll make a copy for you all. I'll make 3 copies so that you each have one, and you can put one on the kitchen or maybe in the spare bedroom.
Next to the baby.
Yeah.
You need 4 copies. Whatever it is, I'll do that for you.
Put it there right. Roller coaster.
Okay, that'll be great.
All right. So it sounds like at least some things are coming together. How do you all feel about this so far?
A little better than when we started.
I'm
Okay.
pretty confident.
Okay. So does it sound like it might be helpful?
It definitely will be.
Awesome. Great. So I hope this all works out. As far as your roles go, I'd like to go back to this idea that you feel more like her mother and that you feel like you should be more like sisters. So how would you describe sisters? I know you said friendly. I know you said doing things together. What else?
Kind of like confidants, you know?
Okay.
See, that's how I think of sisters too. Like your best friend that you're related to.
Like if I went out and had a really awesome time at this party and met this really hot guy, I should be able to come home and be excited about it and not accused about what I'm doing with the hot guy and how sex kills people.
I
and
would
stuff.
so love to be at that point. You know what? We'll talk about your guys the next session.
I mean, I just feel like I should be able to boast about that and her be excited for me.
I can try.
And she could boast about the plumber guy to me. I mean, that's cool.
Well, what could we do? What could you all do maybe to become closer? Maybe have a sister date or designated sisters.
I would like
night
one
or-
date like month where it would be, you know,
We
our
do
day.
something like not go out to a club. Because the stuff I like to do, you don't like to do. So we should just
She likes
get.
to go like Pier 1. It's really boring.
Okay. Okay. But I think maybe we could, I don't know, like sit at home and like order a pizza and play cards and watch like
I
bad
can't get pizza
movies.
because I won't fit into the clothes that I buy when I
Okay,
have to
then
party.
you can eat whatever you want and I'll eat whatever I want. And we can, I don't know, like play cards or.
We're supposed to jump over cotton candy.
Well,
We can have wine.
Okay.
Okay?
That's good.
there you go.
Okay. Sister date.
So
Wine and food.
maybe try a sister date sometime before you come back to me, and let me know how that goes. And then maybe we'll decide if you need one sister day a month or a week or however often you think you might need them. And maybe that'll be one thing that can help you all become more like the sisters that you want to be rather than this parent-child role
Yeah.
that seems to be going on.
I would like that too.
So I think that would be one step in that process. And as you all get to know each other better as sisters, maybe we can come up with some other things that you can do together, or some other ground rules or whatever needs to be done to work on that relationship.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming today. It was nice to meet both of you.
You too.
And we can set up another session at the front.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.